What's going on, everybody? It's your boy I'm So here, and today I want to do something a little bit different and start a discussion and maybe offer some suggestions about roamers and their place in the game at the moment. Now, I've been on Reddit and watched some popular YouTubers' videos over the past week, and it really seems like people, would like to see a change, not just with roaming, but with spawn peeking, the Call of Duty rush play style, and just the overall viability of shield operators in general. Now, I am by no means an expert when it comes to this game, but I have a tendency to agree with these people. Now, I just want to preface this by saying I am by no means opposed to roaming. Just like Core Ross said in his video, which I'll link down in the description. If you haven't watched that, go watch that first. But just like he said, it's a very, very valid tactic. I personally have benefited greatly from this shift in meta. Season 1, I was one of those, 3 or 4 operators that would sit on the objective, and my KD never got above a 1.1, and my win-loss never got above a 1.4. I stopped playing for a little bit when the Division came out, and I came back right before the Dust Line DLC, and since then, my KD is up to 1.4, and my win-loss has gone all the way up to 1.9. Now, that's a pretty crazy improvement, and it's all because I transitioned into one of those 3 or 4 roamers that my team currently plays with. So that raises the question, why is roaming working so well in the current meta? To most of us that, play the game every day, that's pretty obvious. Pulse coupled with Valkyrie cameras and the introduction of Caveira make it easy to sit, way far away from the objective, hide in a little nook and cranny, wait for somebody to walk by. If that doesn't happen, wait for somebody to get spotted on a Valkyrie camera and pull a flank. It's really, pretty simple at the surface, but I want to get in deeper than that. I want to dig. I think a contributor to the success of roaming in the current meta is because of the amount of operators who have access to C4. Now, I know what you're saying. Wait, what? That doesn't really have anything to do with it. But just hold on, let me explain. In the game right now, 6 out of the 13 operators don't have access to C4. Castle, Doc, Rook, Jaeger, Frost, and Tachanka. None of these are, in my opinion, the must picks. Most teams take a Jaeger or a Rook, but that's not really, in my opinion, a must pick. But even if they do pick those 2, that still leaves a majority of the team with C4 at their disposal, 3 out of the 5. You notice anything about this? Like, all of these commonly roaming characters have C4. Must picks like Pulse and Valkyrie have C4. The specifically designed to roam Caveira has a C4. The pocket sniping area denial smoke also has a C4. All of these super high utility operators are made even more powerful just because of their C4. So what does that have to do with anything? Well, what is the best counter to roaming besides good team communication, proper droning, both of which might not work if your team doesn't have mics or they simply shoot your drone and move? Well, the best counter, in my opinion, beyond those, is a shield operator. Just think back to when the game came out and the meta was completely different, and you had those 3 or 4 people sitting on objective, and you only had the 1 or 2 roamers. Well, on attack, you almost always had a Blitz or a Montaigne. If he came across one of those roamers, he would call it out, soak up bullets till he or a teammate could come along. And even if he didn't have comms, you could see him getting shot at. You could hear the shots, and you would run over and help him out. But in our current meta, shields are rarely picked because of the prevalence of so much C4 in all of these roamers. And in the end, this is what I want to start the discussion on. Do you think that altering the C4 structure and the distribution could bring back shield operators and possibly even have the effect of discouraging so many roamers? Now, I'm no fool. Roaming will always be around in some capacity. But this could have the chance of cutting down on the rage-inducing moments that all of us have of being killed by a different roamer every attack round, game after game. You do everything you can to drone them out, but it's so hard to keep track of 4 roamers. And this could cut down on that. And it could also, have the side effect of bringing back Blitz. Like, the only reason that I pick him in the current meta is just to troll my teammates, just to flash them off spawn and then Allah Akbar towards the objective. and I almost always get blown up. In the end, I think this has a shot. And if I were Ubisoft, these are some of the changes that I would make. The super high utility operators would have their C4 taken away. That would include Valkyrie, Pulse, Caveira, Smoke. People like Mute, Capcan, and Bandit can keep theirs, just to keep them a viable pick in the meta. But I would also give C4 to some of the, less common, less picked operators, making teams have to choose if they want a high utility operator that can deal with a shield, or if they want a lower utility operator that can deal with a shield. I would give C4 to Castle, Doc, and maybe to Chanka, depending on, if they're going to give him some sort of buff or not. But that would leave the perennial roamers that we always see having to rely on teammates to take care of a shield. At the end of all of it, I think this has a chance to cut down on the sheer amount of roaming, bring back shields, and slow down the quote-unquote COD rushing that's so popular in the game right now. But that's just my opinion. If you think it's absolutely ludicrous, or that you like the idea but would tweak some things, let me know down in the comment section. I'm also going to be posting this on Reddit. The link will be in the description. Go there and get the discussion rolling. Give it an upvote just so it can gain visibility and get more people involved in the conversation. But when it's all said and done, I think something needs to change. It's just a question of what. But that's all for today, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Have a good one. Peace.